All right, guys, here it is. Time for today's bonus fight on the Oddsmaker segment. Comes to us this time from Strikeforce. Recently announced heavyweight clash between Frank Mir stepping across from the UFC into the Strikeforce organization, and he's going to take on the man right now at heavyweight, Daniel Cormier. So, Luca, I'm going to give you first stab at the odds. Minus 285 for Cormier as the favorite over Frank Mir. He's going to come in at plus 225. Give me your take and give me your bet.
Well, my first thought is, man, Daniel Cormier should really kill Frank Mir. But then after thinking about it more, well, Frank Mir is a similar fighter to Josh Barnett, who Cormier just dominated. Frank Mir actually poses some interesting problems for Cormier. He's actually the better technical boxer here. And whereas with the Josh Barnett fight, if the boxing wasn't working out for Daniel Cormier, he could always shoot the takedown, ground and pound from on top, because Josh Barnett isn't very much of, even though he's good on the ground, doesn't have that much of a guard game in terms of submissions and threatening from that position, whereas Frank Mir does. So this could be a tricky fight for Daniel Cormier, but the thing that really he has going for him here is the speed. You know, you look at the UFC champions from heavyweight all the way down to the lighter weights, you notice one thing in common. The champions are either the fastest fighter in the division or one of the fastest, and Daniel Cormier is one of the fastest heavyweights. Frank Mir, we know, doesn't have a very good chin, and even though I think Daniel Cormier's punching power is definitely overrated, I mean, yeah, he knocked out Antonio Silva, but Antonio Silva doesn't have much of a chin, and Daniel Cormier fought Jeff Munson and couldn't even really hurt him over the course of 15 minutes of striking. So I still think he can hurt Frank Mir. I don't think it will be as easy as some people think, but his speed should be enough to get him through here. I do think the line is a bit too high, and it's much like the last fight. When the actual fight comes around and I lay my personal money, I hope that there's some line movement. I can get Cormier at a lower price, but I have to bet him here. I can't put any money on Frank Mir. There's not enough value in him as a dog, but even though Cormier is a little bit high, I do think he's a much more likely winner, and I have to put my money on him.
All right, so Luca Fury is going to pick Daniel Cormier, $14.25 to win $500 at minus 285. Let's throw it over to Jason Nawara. Jason, do you agree with Luca on this fight?
I do agree, and I also agree with Luca that Frank Mir has the ability to take it to Daniel Cormier and possibly get on top, but at the same time, although Cormier's punching power may be a little overrated, his physicality and his wrestling is not. So it's a matter of, will Frank Mir actually be able to get on top of Daniel Cormier? I mean, the fact that Daniel Cormier is a small heavyweight could play a factor, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Cormier has literally dominated everybody that he's ever fought, and he's 10-0, and if Josh Barnett can't get on top of you, I don't think anybody can. So I absolutely am putting the money on Cormier.
So once again, both of our experts do agree that it's Daniel Cormier over Frank Mir at Strikeforce in October.